Have you ever felt like your finances are stuck, no matter how hard you try? Picture this. The places where you store your money could be silently influencing your financial flow. Yes, you heard that right. The energy around you plays a crucial role in attracting or blocking wealth. Imagine how shifting your perspective on money can open new doors of abundance. Think about it. What if the drawer where you keep your cash is filled with clutter? Or the wallet you carry is worn out and frayed? Every little detail matters. And it's time to explore how these seemingly small aspects can have a monumental impact on your prosperity. As we dive deeper, consider this. What stories are you telling yourself about money? Are they rooted in scarcity, or do they reflect abundance? These questions can unlock hidden patterns in your financial life. So, let's embark on this journey together. Get ready to transform your relationship with money through the lens of Buddhist teachings. The energy you cultivate can either flow freely or become stagnant. Let's ensure it's flowing towards your wealth. Stay with me, and let's unravel the secrets of abundance together. The energy of money and financial flow. Have you ever stopped to think about the energy that money carries? It's fascinating when you consider that money isn't just a tool for transactions. It holds a certain vibration that can influence our lives. I remember a time when I was completely overwhelmed by my finances, feeling as if money was a constant source of stress. Then I stumbled upon this concept of financial energy. I began to realize that how I perceived money and treated it directly impacted my financial flow. If I viewed money as something scarce, that's exactly what I would attract into my life. When I shifted my mindset to see money as a flowing energy, everything changed. Instead of hoarding my resources out of fear, I started to embrace a more abundant perspective. I found myself experimenting with where I kept my money and how I interacted with it. For instance, I began to notice that when I kept my finances organized and acknowledged the money I had, the energy around it felt lighter and more positive. This made me more willing to spend on things that truly matter to me, rather than feeling guilty about every little expense. The physical act of handling money also became a ritual of sorts. I began to consciously appreciate each bill and coin, reminding myself of the energy they represented. The more I acknowledged this connection, the more I felt the financial flow in my life. I remember one evening sitting on my couch counting my savings. Rather than feeling anxious, I felt a wave of gratitude wash over me. It was a small but powerful shift in my perception that opened the door to more financial opportunities. Incorporating this awareness of money's energy into my daily life meant being mindful of how I spent, saved, and even earned money. I started to engage with my finances in a more intentional way, examining my spending habits and understanding what truly brought me joy. This practice not only helped me feel more secure, but also allowed me to make decisions that aligned with my values. It was liberating to shift away from a scarcity mindset and embrace a more abundant approach. Ultimately, recognizing the energy of money has become a guiding principle in my financial journey. I've learned that by nurturing this relationship, by treating money with respect and gratitude, I can create a more harmonious financial flow. This newfound perspective has not only transformed my relationship with money, but has also influenced other areas of my life, encouraging a broader sense of abundance and positivity. Storage spaces and their connection to prosperity. Let's talk about where we keep our money. It might seem trivial, but I've come to understand that our choice of storage spaces can significantly impact our financial mindset. I used to keep my cash stashed away in random drawers, thinking I was being practical, but honestly, it felt chaotic and disorganized. Once I decided to create a dedicated space for my finances, like a specific folder for bills and a separate account for savings, I noticed a change in my mindset. It felt like I was honoring my money, and in return, it honored me back. The type of accounts and storage options we choose also play a role in how we perceive our financial situation. I remember switching from a basic savings account to one that offered higher interest rates and more benefits. It felt like a subtle shift, but suddenly my money seemed to have more potential for growth. This simple change made me feel more empowered and in control of my financial future. It was as if I was giving my money a better environment to thrive in. I also found that the physical spaces where I stored my money, like my home office or even my wallet, affected my overall attitude toward finances. A cluttered space can evoke feelings of chaos and scarcity, while a tidy, organized area promotes feelings of abundance. I made it a point to declutter my financial spaces regularly, creating an environment that felt welcoming and positive. It's amazing how a clean space can inspire clarity and encourage better financial decisions. Investments are another crucial aspect of this discussion. When I began to explore different investment options, I realized that choosing the right vehicle for my money not only had financial implications, but also emotional ones. I felt a sense of pride and ownership when I invested in stocks or funds that resonated with my values. By consciously selecting where to allocate my resources, I felt more connected to my financial journey, reinforcing my belief in the abundance that was available to me. Ultimately, the spaces we choose to store our money and resources can either enhance or hinder our financial mindset. By creating dedicated, organized, and intentional spaces, we open ourselves up to a more positive relationship with our finances. It's a small yet significant step toward cultivating a mindset of abundance, allowing us to attract more prosperity into our lives. Buddhist principles on wealth and detachment. Buddhism has some pretty profound teachings about wealth and material possessions. Initially, I was skeptical about how these principles could apply to managing my finances, but I was curious. The idea of detachment resonated with me, especially when I realized how much stress I placed on myself around money. I began exploring the concept that our happiness doesn't depend on how much we have, but rather on how we perceive and relate to what we have. As I delved deeper into these teachings, I found that practicing detachment didn't mean I had to give up my financial goals or desires. Instead, it encouraged me to let go of the fear and anxiety that often accompanied my financial decisions. For instance, I used to stress over every dollar spent or saved, feeling as if my worth was tied to my bank account. But through the lens of Buddhist principles, I started to see money as a tool rather than a measure of my value. This shift liberated me and allowed me to enjoy my financial journey more. I also learned about the importance of mindfulness in managing finances. The practice of being present and aware in my financial decisions helped me recognize where I was spending mindlessly. Instead of scrolling through online shops or buying things out of habit, I became more intentional with my purchases. This mindfulness practice not only saved me money, but also brought a sense of peace and fulfillment to my spending habits. Another enlightening aspect was the idea of generosity. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of giving, which I found to be a powerful counterbalance to the fear of scarcity. I started to incorporate small acts of generosity into my life, whether it was donating to a local charity or simply helping a friend in need. This practice helped me shift my focus from what I lacked to what I could share, reinforcing the belief that there is always enough to go around. Ultimately, embracing these Buddhist principles around wealth and detachment became a transformative aspect of my financial journey. By letting go of excessive attachment to material possessions and fostering a mindset of gratitude, I found a sense of peace and abundance that I had never experienced before. It's a continuous journey, but one that has profoundly enriched my relationship with money and my overall well-being. Organization and cleanliness as catalysts of energy. Have you ever noticed how a cluttered space can impact your mood and energy levels? I certainly have. When I look around my home office, filled with stacks of papers and miscellaneous items, I feel a sense of chaos that seems to seep into my financial mindset. It's like my physical environment holds onto the energy of stagnation, making it hard for me to think clearly about my finances. When I take the time to declutter and organize my space, I can almost feel a shift in the atmosphere. Suddenly, everything feels lighter, and I become more open to new financial opportunities. The act of cleaning isn't just about tidying up, it's a ritual that symbolizes my intention to attract prosperity. When I clear out old receipts, expired coupons, and things I no longer need, I'm not just creating space, I'm making room for abundance. I've learned that energy flows more freely in organized spaces, and this flow can directly influence my financial well-being. Each time I wipe down my desk or rearrange my filing system, it feels like I'm inviting fresh, positive energy into my financial life. Moreover, the way I store my money can also be affected by my organizational habits. For instance, I've started to keep my financial documents in neatly labeled folders rather than cramming them into a random drawer. This simple change has made managing my finances so much easier. I can quickly find what I need without sifting through piles of disarray. This efficiency not only saves time, but also reduces the stress that often comes with financial management. I feel empowered to take control of my finances in a more proactive way. Being mindful of the spaces where I keep my money has led me to develop a routine of regular organization. Whether it's my bank statements or investment records, I dedicate a little time each month to ensure everything is in order. This practice has become a form of self-care for me, allowing me to connect with my financial goals on a deeper level. I've discovered that when I treat my financial documents with respect and care, I begin to see them as reflections of my aspirations rather than just obligations. Ultimately, organization and cleanliness serve as powerful catalysts for fostering the energy I want in my financial life. By creating a serene and well-ordered environment, I've found that it's much easier to visualize my financial goals and remain focused on achieving them. It's a small but significant change that opens the door to greater abundance and success. Intention and visualization in financial management. When it comes to managing my finances, I've realized that intention is everything. Each time I sit down to review my budget or plan my investments, I make a conscious effort to set a clear intention for what I want to achieve. It's more than just numbers on a page. It's about aligning my thoughts and feelings with my financial goals. By doing this, I feel more connected to my aspirations, which in turn helps me make better financial decisions. Visualization has become a key practice in my financial management routine. I take a few moments to close my eyes and imagine my financial goals as if they're already happening. I can see myself living in my dream home, traveling to places I've always wanted to visit, and enjoying the freedom that financial security brings. This mental imagery is a powerful tool that motivates me to take action in my financial life. It's like creating a vision board in my mind, filled with vibrant images of abundance and success. Incorporating meditation into my financial practice has also been transformative. I often set aside time to meditate on my intentions for wealth and prosperity. During these sessions, I focus on feelings of gratitude for what I already have while also welcoming new opportunities. This combination of gratitude and openness creates a magnetic energy that attracts abundance into my life. It's as if I'm sending a clear message to the universe that I'm ready to receive. I've also found that writing down my intentions and visualizations amplifies their power. I keep a special journal where I jot down my financial goals, affirmations, and visualizations. This practice not only provides clarity, but also serves as a reminder of what I'm working toward. When I revisit these entries, I can feel my commitment to my financial journey reignite, fueling my determination to stay on track. Ultimately, the practice of intention and visualization has shifted my perspective on money from scarcity to abundance. By consciously aligning my thoughts and actions with my financial goals, I've learned to embrace a mindset that attracts prosperity rather than repels it. It's an ongoing journey, but one that I approach with excitement and confidence, knowing that my intentions can shape my financial reality. Feng Shui practices and their financial relevance. When I first stumbled upon Feng Shui, I was curious but somewhat skeptical. The idea that the arrangement of my space could influence my financial well-being seemed a bit out there. However, as I delved deeper, I discovered how these ancient principles could create an environment that not only felt good, but also attracted abundance. I began to look at my surroundings with fresh eyes, understanding that every item and every corner of my home had an energetic influence on my life, especially my finances. One of the core concepts of Feng Shui is the idea of flow. Think of it like water moving through a river. If there are blockages, the water doesn't flow freely. And similarly, if my financial space is cluttered or disorganized, it can impede the flow of money into my life. I learned to clear out unnecessary items, ensuring that my home reflected a sense of openness and possibility. This simple act of decluttering not only made my space more inviting, but also felt like I was making room for new opportunities to enter. Another fascinating aspect of Feng Shui is the importance of specific areas in your home that correspond to different aspects of life, including wealth. The southeast corner is traditionally associated with prosperity, and I started to pay attention to how I could enhance this space. I added elements like healthy plants, symbols of wealth like coins, and vibrant colors to create a visually appealing and energetically charged environment. This shift made me feel more connected to my financial goals, and I genuinely started to notice a positive change in my mindset regarding money. Lighting plays a crucial role in Feng Shui, too. I realized that bright, natural light can uplift energy, while dark, cluttered areas can create feelings of stagnation. I made it a point to introduce more light into my financial spaces, whether it was by opening curtains or using mirrors to reflect light. This small change not only brightened my environment, but also symbolized an openness to receiving abundance. I found that the more light I invited in, the more optimistic I felt about my financial future, almost as if I were signaling to the universe that I was ready for growth. Lastly, I began to incorporate mindful practices like gratitude into my Feng Shui journey. It wasn't just about creating a beautiful space. It was about cultivating a mindset that recognized and appreciated the abundance I already had. I started a gratitude journal specifically focused on my financial blessings, big or small. This practice aligned perfectly with the principles of Feng Shui, as it fostered a sense of abundance rather than lack. I realized that the energy surrounding wealth isn't solely about what we have, but also about how we feel about what we already possess. By embracing gratitude, I could shift my financial energy to attract even more prosperity into my life. As we dive deeper into the teachings of abundance, I want you to take a moment and reflect. Where do you keep your money? Is it hidden away in a drawer, tucked under a mattress, or perhaps stashed in an old wallet? These seemingly small choices can actually influence the flow of energy in your life. Imagine if you treated your finances with the same reverence you give to your spiritual practice. What if you created a sacred space for your wealth? By doing so, you invite prosperity and abundance to flow freely. Now, think about the energy you associate with money. Does it bring you joy or stress? Does it feel like a blessing or a burden? Let's shift that perspective together. I encourage you to take a moment today to rearrange not just your physical space, but your mindset about wealth. What intentions can you set around your finances? How can you open your heart and mind to receive abundance? Remember, every small action can lead to big changes. So, as you go about your day, ask yourself, how can I create a vibrant flow of energy in my financial life? Keep these questions in your heart, and let's continue this journey together.